more, and we were still having all this ragweed. We were going out there, pulling it by hand. Why do we have all this ragweed? What can we do with this? Obviously there was something going on this land. We didn't know what to do with it. So I would say 2018, we went and saw Jonathon out in North Dakota. Heard everybody out there speak, and we're like, wow, land needs animals. We went and got cows, and now we have pasture-raised pigs, chicken, turkeys, free-range eggs we do. We have 100% grass-fed beef, and we just added goats to fix all of our problems.
And we still have a lot of rabies. But yeah,
Goats love them though.
that's for sure. They love anything. Take some of the negatives and turn them into positives. That's what we're looking for. Here's some of our beef cows here. I asked my brother to help me put a poly wire up through that, and he's like, heck no, I can help you with that. Yeah, it's amazing what cattle can do. Here's the after picture, just 8 hours later. Yeah, I thought there would have been enough forage in there for days, but they proved wrong. Yeah, they love ragweed, and we actually took a leaf analysis or whatever and seen what protein and all that good stuff was in there. And it actually had 29% protein in the leaves. So if you can mix some grass in there, move into a grassy spot, that's advisable, or you're gonna get sprayed from the Regenerative. So this is a picture 30 days later, after didn't seed anything on it, just had the cattle go through there for 8 hours, and then this is what came back 8 hours or 30 days later. We're excited to see what's going to come back this next year. So here's our ragweed pork. My buddy that bought one of these pigs from us, he had a pork chop on the grill one night, and he's like, ragweed pork. Yeah, that kind of stuck with me. So yeah, we rotated them through the woods. It was just a spot on our farm that weren't using it for anything else, so figured might as well put something in there and make some use out of it. It seems like everybody has a chunk of land on the back 40, you can throw something in there or whatever. So that's what we did here. Here's our pasture laying egg deal here. We got a chopper box that we have them go in every single night, and they roost in there, lay their eggs in there, and then they just free range all around the pasture, whatever found behind the cows. And we kind of keep them back behind the cows based off of what the fly larva cycle is at. In the summertime, when the fly larva cycle is moving really fast because of the hot, humid weather and a lot of moisture, it seems like you get a lot of good maggots in there about 2 days behind the cows. And then come towards fall and things start cooling down and stuff, and it's about 4 days behind the cows that we go.
And one problem you guys talked about today is the spray on for your cows. We don't spray our cows. Our chickens eat the maggots, so we don't have to spray our cows. This is your problem. You're getting eggs, you're getting money in your pocket. We're selling our eggs, and we're saving costs on spraying our cows. It's what, $12 a head to spray a cow? I don't know. We don't do it, so I don't know. But we're getting, we're getting chicken, eggs off of something we wouldn't have if we sprayed our cows.
Yeah, I guess ever since that meeting we went to, that just really changed our mindset around, and now we're focusing on soil first, and that makes us realize, what are we doing putting all these pesticides, herbicides, and all this stuff on our livestock and plants and stuff, and yeah, it literally gets us nowhere. And then who would want to go put spray right over your feed or your food, your beef or whatever, It goes right through the animal, and it don't go anywhere else except for into soil, and the cycle goes on. That was one of our cover crop fields that we did after harvesting winter rye off of. This was in October. We just had the pasture turkeys out there. We didn't do very many for the first year, but doing a little experimenting with them. They really love the diversity and everything to choose from. They really love to browse and forage. There is a 13-way mix that we seeded after the winter rye. I don't know all of them off the top of my head, but just some of them. We had sorghum Sudan grass, sun hemp, volunteer rye after we combined, turnips, radish, clovers, yeah, lots of different things. That was just one of the pictures of the turnips there. You guys are probably wondering, why in the world does he have a Holstein up there? The mother of them twin bull calves somehow had something wrong with her when the calves were born. She had no milk or nothing. So I was fortunate enough to get a cull cow from my dad and uncle and grafted them 2 calves on her. And she took them all the way through summer and all the way to January. So I was pretty happy about that. Mostly what they're grazing there is tall fescue. Stays nice and green, and it's a lot more winter hardy, I would say, than other grasses like orchard grass and everything else. So cows really thrived on it and did well. And then we're just on our hay fields there, so just used polywire and moved them through the fields. And I suppose this time here, this was probably about the middle of December, and I was moving them every day still, and I was giving them quite a bit there. I was probably giving them about an acre a day for 23 head. So, and then the process leading up to that, just taking the tips and leaving as much there to collect sunlight as you can to get more growth out of your plants going into winter. And then we decided to get goats. Yeah, people always say, if it can hold water, it can hold a goat. Well, I was all worried as can be getting them, you know. I'm like, man, what am I going to do to goat-proof my place here? This is at our mother-in-law's on a pasture that is rented out to somebody else. But yeah, I put in 2 electric wires in the farmyard, thinking they're going to escape on me and all this and that stuff. But in the winter time, when there's a lot of snow, they have no urge to go anywhere but where your feet is. So the first time we put this bale out and we rolled it out into the pasture and we're heading towards the woods with it, that was our goal. We couldn't even get them out of the pen. They did not want to go out. We encouraged them with oats and all kinds of stuff because these goats were grain fed before we got them, so we figured we better not short them when we get them, because the most important time when they're going to be kidding soon here is having good nutrition and stuff, so we didn't want to cut them off of that right away. But the goats still, if you get them out into your pastures and stuff during the winter time, they'll even eat multi-floor rows when there's virtually no green on it. They'll eat the stems right off of it and everything. Honeysuckle bushes, they'll girdle them things all right down to nothing, and it's amazing the negatives you can turn into positives, I guess. So.
Where are you going with that bale?
Where we want that bale? Down to the woods.
Yeah, I see that. It's gonna be in the ditch.
That's all right. There's lots of forage down there for them.
Yeah. Yeah, once they got to the woods, then they started browsing on their own and going everywhere else, so yeah, we were pretty excited. What's that? Yeah, the pasture we're at there is kind of continuous grazed and stuff, so bale and rolling, we're trying to add more carbon to it and see what it turns out like next year, and hopefully have a lot more green lush grass. And we found that unrolling the bales for the goats is the best way to go. Otherwise, if you just set the bale there, they'll just jump right up on it and just mash it. Then you got a big pile of hay there, but yeah, that works out good that way. So
I guess our main goal with our goats is to run them through all of our woods. Right now, they're more browsers than they are grazers, so we can utilize, you know, the stuff that our cows don't eat, our thistles and whatever else, whatever garbage, whatever weeds we think are weeds, goats will eat. It's going to turn our problems into profits. We can sell them goats for meat. We can clean up our woods, create more pasture, give more fertility to our land, give more animal impact. So that's kind of where we're at with goats. profit more than a.
Yeah, just adding more and more diversity, I guess, encourages more biology in the soil and grows different, more diverse plants and encourages more better health in all the livestock as well. I guess, yeah, the biggest reason we ended up getting goats is with the farm we lease here. There's 300 acres of woods that got logged and it's pretty well clear cut, so we're expecting there to be a lot of brush and stuff that we're gonna be able to utilize the goats for versus just letting it sit there and just grow up in brush, so that's the plan there. And I guess that's about it.